Hello and welcome to the next one of M&K Model Railways tutorials. Today we'll be looking at how to join two pieces of Pico SL100 Flexi track. Now this can apply not only to Pico but to many of the other brands of Flexi track. They all have the same problem, and that is when you get the track there's no joiners on them there. So that's the joiners that we have from Pico. The SL10s fit the SL100 track, and they have to be put onto the track, which is relatively easy. These just push on straight onto the track itself, and then you just feed them through. Now you can see there's a problem straight away, that when you do that, what happens is the sleeper bed starts moving back. So it's a very simple procedure with all flexible track, is to get rid of these little items here, which is called a chair that's holding the track to the sleeper bed. So we'll remove both of those from both sides of the track, so that will allow us to put the Pico joiners onto the track and make a nice neat finish to the end of the track. And there's another reason for that too, which I will point out, is that when the two tracks come together and the sleeper bed is not cut, it will end up pushing them unrealistically apart. So we don't want to do that. We want to have a nice flowing joint so that all the sleepers are spaced evenly as it goes down the track. So we need a couple of items there. You saw me use the little 50-cent hobby knife from the supermarket or from any hardware store, and you just put the knife under and make a very careful incision underneath there, and knock the two of those chairs off, one on either side of both the tracks, being of course careful not to cut yourself as you're doing it as well too, because these knives are very sharp. Once we've done that, we'll just grab a joiner and put the joiner onto the track. Now with these joiners, just be really careful not to wriggle them if you can get out of it. There, we might have to give it a little bit of a push to get it started. Now that just goes on halfway, and the same with the other side, because the other half will be kept for the other piece of track. So we'll just push that on to that side as well, and making sure that we don't catch the sleeper bed as well, and then just gently move it up and onto the track. And the idea with these, not to wriggle them too much, is you have a beautiful joint to start off with, and that joint is going to make the difference in the next 10 to 20 years of a good electrical conductivity across that joint there, because that will be opening the joint up. As the more you wriggle the track when you're putting the joiner on, you'll tend to open those nice clean new rail joiners, and you'll have a bad joint. It'll start to oxidize after a number of years. So that same procedure again, just get the knife underneath, just rest it on the track and do a very slight slow incision on it, cutting those off, and you make that flush with the sleeper bed, because if you don't do that, it'll end up causing the joiner to raise the track up a little bit, and we don't want that as well. So now we get to the exciting part. We put the two pieces of track together. Now they might want to push themselves apart. You just got to gently push that in there, so that just push it in and hold it firmly, and the same with the other side, trying to keep them at the same run. So I'll show you that again with the other side, and we'll line the track up and then just push the other side onto its joiner. Once we've got them together, we can just fix up the join by long nose pliers yet again, and just push them on. See what can happen there is, because the joiner is nice and tight on one side and just a little bit looser on the other one, we just push it back so that we end up with a nice even half of the rail joiner on either side of the track. And we go back and do the other side, and there we have it. And we can space then the rail bed itself as we go along. A nice new track, doesn't want to move along very easily, but you can see what you're trying to achieve is all the sleeper beds are exactly the same distance apart, and you end up with a nice joint, and there's no gaps in the track or anything like that there that is going to cause you problems when you little wheels are running along, especially the smaller profile wheels as they go along. And that's how you join two pieces of flexible track. Thank you very much.